Well, I've been in a few fights in my life, and I actually have fought with a handicapped person. You know, if you have a family member who has a handicap sticker on their car, they're handicapped. You probably have worked with people that have a handicap sticker. I remember working with a guy who physically had no handicap, and he pulled into the handicap spot to park at the office. And I say, hey, man, why are you parking there? You know, that's for handicapped people. And he goes, Sam, I have a sticker. He goes, not every handicap is physical. And then, so, oh shit, he's talking about he's got a mental disability. And then I thought about he's responsible for some critical things at work. And I was like, it blew my mind a little bit. And you have to remember a handicapped person, sometimes physical, sometimes mental, is not operating, okay, at the same capacity many times. And there's verbal fights and there's physical fights, okay? And I'm mainly talking about verbal for this live feed. But I want you to think about this because this will save your life. I want you to think about that a doctor has to verify that someone does not have the proper function in order to authorize a handicap sticker. Sometimes physical, sometimes mental. Remember, someone to qualify for disability has to get certified by a psychiatrist or by some government official that they are not operating at proper capacity. Even if they're scheming the system, they're that manipulative. So how can you win an argument? How can you win a fight with someone who's not playing fair? You know, in golf, they say they'll give you a handicap, meaning they'll give you like extra points, like to compensate for the fact that, you know, it's not a fair game. It's never fair to you, mainly, to fight with a handicapped person. You're fighting a fight you can't win, verbally or physically. And I want to go one step further. Remember, when someone takes a sip of alcohol, they become handicapped. Why? Well, if you're sober and they're drunk, their mind is not at full capacity. They're handicapped. If someone is on amphetamine drugs and you're not on drugs, it's an unfair handicap match. You know, you ever see a psychopath get shot and then keep coming at you? That's because they're on sometimes all these drugs. You're going to fight a handicapped person at some point in your life. You're thinking of a handicapped person in a wheelchair, but there's a handicapped person in your family member that's addicted to drugs. Being addicted to drugs is a handicap. They can't function. Can't control themselves. If they cannot stop themselves from doing drugs, you think you can stop them from talking crazy to you or making the wrong decisions or not respecting your boundaries? I remember I told my father one time, and he wasn't really that major. He didn't really have any major issues. He had OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. He was a little bit of a very strict guy. It's like I got this one guy that trolls me, Gifted Green. He lives in an electric car from Long Island. I know a couple guys from Long Island. Be careful in your charging stations, okay? So, but this guy's total psychopath, okay? And he's like real narcissist about his weight, okay? But his mental health is completely handicapped, okay? So, but like my father, he has OCD, and once in a while he would drink. You're going to meet a lot of people on disability that still drink alcohol and that still take prescription pills. Toxic combination. Toxic. If someone is taking prescription pills and it says don't mix alcohol, guys, that's a toxic combination. Get the fuck away from them. Because what I can tell you is you're gonna be dealing with someone who's drinking alcohol, self-medicating, and they're going to tell their roommate who's doing drugs they're wrong because they're doing drugs. Guys, it's that insane. You can't win an argument with a handicapped person. You say, Sam, what about the trolls? The trolls are handicapped. What person in their right mind would waste energy being online trying to tear someone else down? Someone who is completely handicapped. Okay. Mentally, emotionally, doing drugs, total psychopath. You can't understand it. I saw one never argue with a grown man who uses a puppet. Guys, you already lost a fight when you're arguing with a grown man who uses a puppet or who drinks crazy alcohol. I remember one time I told my father, I said, I think you had enough to drink. If you ever tell an alcoholic, I think you had too much to drink, guys, it's going to be a fight. You know, alcoholics look down on drug addicts. Drug addicts, okay, think they're smarter than a doctor. Have you ever had someone you know in your family or personal life that they're on disability, but in their spare time they're a lawyer, okay? They're a police officer, they're an investigator, okay? They're a scientist. They know everything, okay? They know everything. You can't win that type of argument, okay? Yeah, they know everything about the medical industry, about technology. They know everything. They're delusional. I want to save your life tonight. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. And I have fallen victim too, because I'm human. But as I go forward, I learn to disengage with the handicap, the drug addicts, and those emotionally unstable, or just someone who's too tired and hungry. You say inspirational nomad. My spouse came up to me after I woke them up from a nap. Oh, good luck with that. And they were hungry. We got in an argument. Have you ever seen the commercial with Betty White when she didn't have enough food and she turned into this demon lady? She was a nice, sweet old lady. I got a couple trolls like that. But when she didn't have her food and when she didn't take her nap, she turned to the devil. That, guys, it's the same mental handicap when someone hasn't eaten and someone hasn't sleeping. It's a torture technique to deprive someone of sleep and food. And you have to remember in life, the biggest way you mess up your money bag is a fight. Walk away. The biggest way you mess up your personal life is dating a handicapped person, and take that in context. I'm not saying someone who has epileptic seizures or something like that. My mom dated a guy like that. I'm not saying people, take what I'm saying in context. I'm talking about people that you're fighting, okay? You're fighting. If you have to fight someone, guys, you're already lost, because why even there? Unless you're self-defense. If you're backed in a corner and you got to argue, you got to fight. Look, but even me, I remember saying one time when I was arguing with different people, I said, what the fuck am I doing here? I said, never again. I'll never tell someone they had too much to drink. I'll never try to convert a troll online. I'll never try to talk sense into someone who double parked in a handicapped parking spot. I saw someone 2 years ago get shot in Florida because they were waiting for, they saw someone who wasn't handicapped parking in a handicapped spot, so they were going to avenge it. So you shouldn't be parking here. This is for the handicap. Okay. And they got into a fight. Okay, her boyfriend came out to the corner store, okay, and the other guy, who was an old guy, he was strapped, and he shot him because they argued over a handicap spot. Never argue with the handicap. Now, never be submissive to the handicap if they disrespect your boundaries. Walk away and cut them off. Okay. My message tonight is your mother may be handicapped, your daughter, your lover, your brother, your child. And no one is beneath you. But remember, you're not beneath anyone. And there has to be boundaries. There has to be a level of civility in your personal life. You're not a Power Ranger where you're going in society, avenging every wrong. This is boundaries for your personal life. If you ever catch yourself arguing, okay, with an adult who drinks too much, smack the shit out of yourself. If you catch yourself watching a drunk tell a drug addict they're toxic, just walk completely away. If you ever catch yourself going to visit family member and they're taking pills and alcohol, and they're a doctor, they're a lawyer, they're everything in the world, and they know all your business because they've been searching, just don't even get involved. Don't go to the funeral either. It's going to be a shit show. What I want to tell you tonight is there's a lot of opportunities in life to get caught up. And walk away. Again, when you're backed into a corner, you do what you got to do. But there's going to be very rare cases of that. Stand up for yourself without getting slinging in mud. Like I say, yeah, Like, once in a while I check someone and say something, but then once, once like they start using like a puppet or once they start using troll accounts and say, "I got what, I'm fucking arguing with the wind over here." Okay? I'm fucking arguing with fucking like, you don't know, it's fuck, you don't know who you're talking to. Okay? Because they're on a whole nother dimension. Okay? Whole nother dimension. See, what you have to learn in life, guys. If you want to know how to go crazy, stay in the insane asylum trying to be a counselor to the insane. I know a guy who was a correctional officer, and he became like almost a prisoner because he would go every day. You got to do a lot of self-care if you're in the middle of traumatic situations. Okay. If you're in a household and there's some people that are disabled, got problems, you better be doing a lot of self-care. You better have a lot of boundaries. There better be a lot of healthy habits. Okay. Because what I'm telling you is life's hard enough. And then you add to the fact that someone has been certified that they have some type of issue, or they're doing drugs, which is a handicap, because it alters the mind. If you're drinking alcohol or doing drugs, your mind is handicapped. It's not functioning normal. And believe me, you think they're going to do some crazy shit while they're on drugs or alcohol? You've never been around. Guys, anything can happen. People operate at a whole other dimension when they're not sober. And now that, even everything, guys, for me, I don't want to smoke weed. I don't want to drink. I'm done. Everyone should do whatever they want. This is my channel, my boundaries, my message. Okay, and then we're going to go all live comments. Because I know there's some people in the church pews tonight that have gotten a fight with a handicapped person. Okay, I know it. Because this is real life. But what I want to tell you today is that chaos is created when you're not taking care of yourself. You're focused on saving other people or correcting other people. And you go into this series of events which destroys your life. Even a trained psychologist has boundaries with their patient. The reason they schedule an appointment for therapy, because even a therapist knows there has to be boundaries. Stacy, welcome to the live chat access. Gratitude and appreciation. Shout out to you, Stacy. Thank you. Thank you to all my members. All right, we're going to go all live comments. And I'm going to take a hydration break. Thank you. Welcome, Stacy. I see everyone out there tonight. Shout out to Canada. I see you, Tony. See you, Timothy. Suitcase Twister. Andre, always first. Hal. Hydration break. Then we'll go all live comments. Andre, great to see you. I hope you're back home in Jersey. You probably just missed the storm. Tropical storm is starting to rain here in South Florida. Most of the tropical storm is passing on the southwest side. Hopefully you're doing well and your family had a good vacation. Love to you, brother. My man Hal, on his third week of the job. The more you show up, the easier the job gets, the more knowledge you get. And over the years, the higher you go up, the more perks you get. Even with the responsibility, it's greater. So how do you get better at a job? Just keep showing up, okay? And it's going to get easier and easier and easier. And once in a while, you're going to have a bad patch where bad things happen. But don't quit. Keep showing up. And then you go through the ups and downs. I saw today at the gas station, they're hiring $15 an hour, $500 bonus. Why? Because, hey, guys, there's opportunity. So keep pushing forward. Howell goes, what's good, Sam? What's going on, brother? Went to Boston yesterday for the day. Getting ready for week 3. Sponge, not microphone. Excellent comment. Well, one is I've been to Boston. I did a video of it in the beginning of my channel. It was overall a great experience. I went in the summer like you did. Very similar. The whole Northeast is too congested, but it was still a good experience. And it's good that you're taking weekend trips. You're getting outside your 30-mile radius in during your off time, because that's how you expand your perspective, grow yourself, and reset your creativity. Now, with regards to week 3, I love that you're going to be a sponge, not a microphone, meaning that you're going to be there to absorb information, analyze personalities, not dictate. As you get into like month 6 and 8, then you step up. I remember, I see you, Mary Toss. Thank you very much for that gracious super chat. Sunglass face emoji. South Florida for the win. Your dog in a hotel for the win because you want to have boundaries when you visit your brother for the double win. Never forget it. Love to you. But I would share with you how I remember starting a new job, and for like the first 6-8 months, I mean, I was quiet as a mouse. And I remember one of the guys that's, like, I was probably actually even a little bit too quiet, but I was very cautious. I was very nervous. And I remember one of the guys said to me, Sam, like, you ever gonna, like, assert yourself or get, like, involved? I said, I'm just kind of watching right now. And then, like, the next month or so, I started to be more aggressive. And I don't mean aggressive in a bad way, but in a good way. I asserted myself. I took on the role of leadership. So, maybe I waited a little bit too long in the month 6 or 8, but in the beginning, better to be a little bit more cautious in proving yourself by being a reliable worker and not a drama queen, rather than by being a vocal leader and unproven. So when in doubt, as far as a new employee, listen and stay out of trouble. And then as you gain trust of people through your reliability and your integrity, then when you speak up, it will have more power and impact. So that'd be my best advice. Good to you. Tony, what's up, man? Shout out to Canada. Tony's a good guy. This guy's in Canada. He never says anything negative about Florida. I got this one troll from Long Island, goes to Mexico to bangs out prostitutes, smoke weed, all over the place. Total nut job. Handicap sticker guy. Now, am I arguing with him? No, but I'm not going to let him verbally abuse me. Okay? And so what I can tell you is this. That this guy hates on Florida. Okay. Why? Not Tony's, this other guy. Why? Because, again, he's insecure and there is no sense. Okay. When you're dealing with someone who's mentally disturbed, there's no rhyme or reason. Okay. Like, they're looking at you, okay, and analyzing and judging you, and their mental health is a disaster. And then you're looking at them and you're saying, well, what about this? What about that? And they're not acknowledging that. Why? Because you're talking to a wall. You're talking to a certified, legit handicapped person, okay? Whether or not they got their credentials or not. I mean, if you can see someone's body of work, their content of their character. Like, there's a lot of people that are underdiagnosed. We know that, right? I mean, any people that spend any time in the real world, there's a lot of people out here, guys, that don't go for disability because they're so disturbed that they don't even want to get into the system. Maybe they're addicted to drugs. They don't want to go through not doing drugs. There's a lot of things, and I know it. Being addicted to drugs is a handicap. And you know it because they even say it's a disease, okay? So what I want to tell you, don't allow someone who abuses drugs to abuse you. Don't get in a fight with them, but don't feel bad about it, okay? Because it's your life. It's their life to do drugs, but it's your life to say, well, I'm not dealing with it. And I'll tell you right now, accept every thumbs down as a badge of honor. Accept every word of slander as a badge of honor. And anytime there is a violation, document and call the police and let them go either to the jailhouse or to the mental asylum, okay? And let them figure out their life because you have a right to live your life in peace and you have to protect it. And I don't care if it's a drug addict, a mentally disturbed person in your family, or a nutcase online. No one has the right to bully and to abuse you. Period. Period. Period and double period, okay? And I'll throw an exclamation mark in there, but I know the psychopaths still don't understand it. So you have to remember that you take hold of your life. Okay? And you say, well, what if I lose my life? Well, guys, you know how you lose your life? You let a handicapped person lead your life, you might as well be dead. Okay? You might as well be dead, okay? Because if you think they, okay, are going to care for you the way you need to care for yourself, you have to look at their life. They don't even have to take care of themselves. How are they going to care for you? Don't let the blind lead the blind. Okay. So what I want to tell you is it going to hurt? Guys, everything in life hurts, okay? Fuck it. Okay. So, like people used to ask me, do the tattoos hurt? Oh, guys, everything in life has some pain. What do you want? Okay. So, it's better to just do what you got to do. I remember I broke my finger one time. I was playing basketball in my late 20s. And I was playing a street ball, and some kid had threw the basketball, and it popped my finger totally out of socket. It was going the opposite way. It'll freak out mentally. But there was pain, but there was no blood, obviously, and the being totally out of socket and pointing the wrong way, it's like, fuck. So I drove I had one good hand, so I drove myself to a hospital. So I go to the emergency room, and it was relatively well. I go to the emergency room, and a female doctor, she came up, they took an x-ray and stuff, so look, you dislocated your finger. He goes, there's not much we can do other than to pull it back into the socket. And then we'll wrap it up, and then you go like through therapy or something. And they go, the only thing we can really do is shoot it to numb the pain when we pull it back in socket. She goes, do you want me to shoot it with pain? I said, no, pull the thing back in. Let's get it over with. Okay. Let's just get it over with. Okay? And she went to pull it back in the socket and it didn't pop in. And she goes, I got to do it again. So you have to decide. I mean, are you going to keep medicating your life, or are you going to get it over with? Because guess what, guys? Your life is out of socket. Okay? It's totally going the opposite way, your life. And the only way to get it back into the place is to pull it back inside. And you got to do it. Okay? You can numb it, you can do it, but you got to do it. Okay? And that's the message tonight. Well, one of the messages. Shit, we're on fire tonight. I'll tell you that much. Straight fire emoji. Let's go back and left comments. Thank you again, everyone. Tony, I'm lead on this. Tony says, a lot of handicapped people have Dixie flags and Trump stickers on their suitcases. Yeah, well, there's no doubt. I mean, I have had a couple liberal trolls too, so I'm not going to lie. Look, there's definitely a lot of mentally disturbed Trumpers, but there's also a mentally disturbed girl from Oregon, Valerie. She's online, still creating fake profiles and trolling other guys online. She was from Oregon, okay? She loved Biden, okay? And she kept busting my balls when I said something she didn't like. So she's another one. I've had Biden trolls and Trump trolls, liberal and conservative. And what I found is, it's like arguing with the handicap. You can't win, no matter what political side you're on. So fuck them. Yeah. Good job, Tony. Mary Toss. Hey, Sam. And all love to you, Mary Toss. Appreciate you. Timothy, what's up, brother? Hello, Sam and everyone. Timothy, great to have you. Shout out to you and your wife. My man, Suitcase. Hey, Sam. Oh, the beanie's on. Oh, yeah. We're on fire. Bring it, brother. I love your Suitcase. You stay positive. I saw that alligator video, man. That was a good video as far as like the quality. Damn, that alligator was close, man. You got to be careful, man. These alligators, I try to avoid those things, man. But that was a good video as far as like how close it was to his eyes. Twista, what's up, everyone? Twista, stay positive. We love you. Heart emoji. Stacy, thank you again for joining. Welcome. Stacy, Sam, it's taken me 2 years to figure it out. Well, we never figure it out. Keep your boundaries. Because as soon as you think you got to figure it out, you get complacent and boom, get knocked back on your ass. Timothy, welcome, Stacy. I agree. We love you, Stacy. Love you, buddy. Love to you back. Reciprocal appreciation and love, Stacy. Thank you. Mary Todd, thank you again for that gracious super chat. My man Adam, good to see you, brother. Hey, Adam's dealing with parents that have dementia. That's a disability. Dementia is a disability. The mind is not operating at full capacity. Adam actually has legal authorization as their official governing body, the caretaker. So that's what I mean. Like, Adam, you're in a very challenging position. You got to have a lot of boundaries because you got your own kids, you got your own girl that you went back to a couple times, and you're taking care of disabled people. It's a shit show. You got to be very careful because this is a very toxic situation. It doesn't matter if you're in a house or a fifth wheel. So I want you to get the support you need. I want you to take time for yourself. And I want you to really be careful because I'm praying for you, man. That's not easy. I give you a lot of credit, man. Praying for you and your family every day. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people, dementia. You know, that's a handicap. Okay. Being drunk is a handicapped person. Being high is a handicapped person. Someone over-emotional is handicapped. Anyone who is not under self-control is handicapped. Suitcase. Oh, bro, you stay safe in this weather. Yeah, I will. I still rather be here than the Northeast. I've been here now. Well, last year was an exception because of the coronavirus, but I've already been in Florida for a couple summers. And what I've learned is, unless there's a hurricane and specifically Cat 2 or worse, it's not that bad. When there is a very high, bad tropical storm or a Cat 1 storm, the worst part as a nomad is certain stores will close, and your saving grace is always the all-night gas station. But no doubt about it, you got to be safe no matter where you are. Worst case scenario, we use the hybrid nomad method, which is you get a hotel room, which pretty much is one of the safest things. Or you do the ultimate nomad trick, which I did during Hurricane Dorian. You gas your car, you get the hell out of Dodge. So believe me, if there's a Cat 3, Cat 4 hurricane, I'm guessing my car getting the hell out of Dodge. Why? Wisdom be with thee. And use your nomadic flexibility muscles. Okay. And so hopefully, too, while these storms start and all the people that just moved to Florida, they may think about putting their house up for sale. Okay. And that's when I swoop in. But I don't really want a house, just a lot of land. But I don't even know if I want that because I want to take care of anything. Okay. So we'll see. One day at a time, like I tell you, like I tell myself. Suitcase, welcome to the Yacht Club, Stacy. You're damn right. So what I can tell you is that when you're the captain of your ship, whether it's a yacht or a paddle boat, if you have a handicapped person on your ship or on the paddle boat, they could basically cause you to go shipwrecked. Because you have to think about this. I want you to put your visual eyes on. Let's say Stacy's in a paddle boat and someone jumps in her boat that's mentally handicapped or drunk or on drugs. They can cause havoc on that paddle boat and cause it to tip over. That's how you get in a fight with a handicapped person. Let's say you're on this yacht and they're arrogant. Everyone's a little bit stuffy because everyone's got money. And this handicapped person comes on the boat, or a rich person gets too drunk and they start talking reckless. Same thing. So I want you to remember that a handicapped person, whether it's certified by the federal government or their doctor, like some of you guys, you see that handicap sticker, you go, oh, that's no big deal. That means they're certified something wrong. I don't think that's no big deal. I think that's a certification. Now, my mom has a handicap sticker, and she legitimately has issues with her legs. She got diabetes. She can barely walk. And she still works. So, some people, but that's all right. So, but I know people, and I see people that either they have a handicap sticker or they have no handicap sticker, and they're just drunk, they're high, or they're irrational. How much do you want to argue with them? You want to fight with them? They don't make sense. How can you stand before a judge or whoever, unless you're again, there's always the exception unless you're absolute cornered and you got to do what you got to do. But I'm not just talking about physically, I'm talking about verbally. How much can you really argue with someone who doesn't make sense? And then how can you make sense of it? You can't. It's insanity. So just don't bother. Unless there's a legit emergency where, you got to be very cautious, and then even still call the authorities. That's what I tell you. Stacy, love, I have been shipwrecked and trying to get out for years. I empathize. Damn, Sam. I finally got out trying. Thank you for your inspiration. Well, thank you for everything. And I want to remind Stacy, myself, and everyone listening, and all my members, we must meditate on that which is good every day. We must discipline ourselves every day. If you begin to become complacent and think you figured out life, you're going to get shipwrecked. Now, at any time, we can get shipwrecked because I've been broken before in life, even when you do everything right. So I can never be prideful or arrogant in the message that we guarantee our success. All we're doing is trying to move wiser. Keith, $10 super chat all the way from the FedEx night shift in Indiana. A lot of handicapped people there. Maybe not. Hey, Keith, what I want to tell you is this. Your place in Florida awaits you. You are 61. You have fought the good fight. Now, you must take care of yourself well. And to do that, you have to have boundaries. You have to have time management. You have to have patience. You have to live below your means. You have to have self-control. And you have to position yourself away from too much stress. Too much stress will lead to a toxic situation. I believe, Keith, thank you again. I believe that there is a lot of people that are going to come back from this holiday weekend with a lot of horror stories. I spoke to one person today. Someone, their father's brother, died from choking on corn on the cob. That's right. They were at the cookout, probably drunk. That's a handicap. And they were eating a bunch of food, probably talking shit. And the guy died from choking on corn on the cob. Now, have I ever been young and drunk? Yes. So what I want to tell you guys is, like I tell you almost every night, when we're young, we do immature things. That's part of life. But as you become older, you want to mature. You don't want to keep arguing with handicapped people. I mean, that's how you destroy your life, okay? When I was a child, I spoke as a child, reasoned as a child, fought with handicapped people. When I became an adult, I put away childish things and stopped fighting with handicapped people. I added that last part, but I'm trying. Jesus spoke in parables. I speak in emojis. Why? Let the message be very simple tonight. Handicap sticker, boxing glove emoji, and then Ghostbusters emoji. Don't fight with the handicap. I can't make the message any simpler. However, remember, as simple as I just broke that down, there's someone drunk, high, or handicapped that doesn't understand what I just said and still wants to argue. So what are you going to do next? Move on with your life. Have you ever tried to talk sense to someone addicted to drugs? I've been there. Have you ever tried to rationalize with someone who has no boundaries, who can't say no? Have you ever almost literally been in a situation where you could have set your life totally backwards? Have you ever worked with someone who parked in a handicapped spot, had no physical handicap, but there was obviously some certification by the doctor, and you find out later it was a mental handicap? And then you find out they were doing critical operations at your job, and you wonder why they were always in the middle of some drama? Never argue with a handicapped person. Hydration break, we'll go back to all off comments. If your mother has dementia, Adam, I see you. There's no amount of argument, there's no amount of direction that you can give her. It's a very sad thing. You know, I remember when I was taking care of my elderly dog, and I know someone right now going through losing their dog. It's a horrible thing. I was trying to figure out every way to make my dog healthy. Change the bed setup, do this, try to make them comfortable, make them less stress. And certainly all those things help. But I remember at the end, very end, accepting that there's just so much you can do. And this is part of the tough part about being an adult. Whether you're dealing with a drunk, an alcoholic, or someone who just had too much to drink, they're handicapped. Whether you're dealing with a drug addict, a mentally unstable person, or emotionally unstable person. Whether you're dealing with someone who takes a lot of naps and has no problem with it. These are handicapped people. Maybe they're diagnosed, maybe they're underdiagnosed, maybe they're not diagnosed. There's functioning handicapped people. Just like there's functioning alcoholics, there's functioning handicapped people. And again, there's no judgment because we all have some disability, I believe, as far as none of us are perfect human beings. This message is not that of pride looking down on the disabled. This is a message of self-care looking inward towards our best life. And anyone who manipulates that message is trying to destroy your life. Because a guilt trip is a handicapped person. It's an emotionally handicapped person that needs to control you. A strong, healthy, emotional person can handle you being free and you deciding for yourself. right, we're going back to all live comments. Keith, thank you again. Twisted says, happy for you, Stacy. I agree. Thank you for sharing your testimony. D, hey, Sam and friends. Hey, D, thank you for your comments. Great to see you tonight. Suitcase, yep, document, call the authorities. They got paid to deal with drama and walk away. I agree. Now, obviously, try to show grace and try not to make a scene if a scene doesn't need to be made. And remember, there's some police officers that are handicapped. And that's what happens too a lot of times. Like, you got two people unreasonable and they argue. But again, you got to make a judgment call sometimes when you're in a corner. The best thing you can do is if you can safely walk away without any problem, just walk away, nothing happens. Whether it's an argument, because again, a fight is not just physical, it's also verbal. There's physical abuse and verbal abuse. And there's emotional. I can make you feel like shit and say very little words and touch you very little. Emotional abuse. You can't call the cops. And I'm not mocking what Suitcase said because I agree with him. But now I'm expanding beyond that comment. Let's say, because I agree with Suitcase, like if you're in a corner physically or whatever and you can't get out, then you have to call authorities, document, call authorities. But let's say you're in a situation where you're getting emotionally abused. You can't physically call the authorities and say, I'm getting emotionally abused. No. Because they're going to say, what are they doing? Can you leave? If you can leave, see, that's step one. Can you leave? There's someone in a shared apartment with toxic behavior. You can leave. Why don't you leave? Why are you allowing them to emotionally abuse you? Now, maybe there's a financial dependency. But there's no one you can call to change. You got to have boundaries. And you can't be drunk. I know people who get drunk. They let someone else emotionally abuse them and then they call on that. No. You're basically, guys, if you get drunk and you call the cops, okay, or whatever, you're trying to plead your case to yourself, you've already lost the war. That's why, again, this is for mature adults, not for young kids, because I've been young, I got drunk, I did different things. As you become mature, guys, you got to be sober-minded. Okay? Because every day, guys, there's opportunities to do some crazy shit. Okay? And if you don't believe me, wait till you hear the stories of this holiday weekend. Wait till you hear them. They're coming tomorrow, guys. Some people think it's cute, man. Get that glass with that ice and they jingle it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fucking psychopaths, guys. You're dealing with the mentally unstable. And you're trying to make sense of it. There's no making sense of insanity. And then they're going to call you insane. And you say, I'm the sane one. Don't even argue. It's a whole waste of energy. Back to live comments. D. Hey, Stacy. Adam. Yeah, the holiday season usually is very costly financially and emotionally, I agree. I'm pretty much broke, oh yeah, until Thursday. But I did have some good moments with my kids this weekend. Well, I respect that because, again, I do believe when you have kids, spoil them without entitlement, love on them, and let them live their childhood. So, obviously, most of my messages are for adults. But obviously, look, yeah, I mean, like I say, Adam, I respect everything you do. I respect your positive personality. I worry about you so much sometimes that you're not taking enough time for yourself, but I'm not in your shoes. I'm not in any of your guys or girls' shoes, so you always have to take what I say with a grain of salt. I respect everyone in here. I understand we're all on our own journey, so please never internalize some of this if it doesn't fit. But obviously, my hope is, one is I'm expressing this for my own self-care. Two is I'm hoping that some of these seeds will spark you to go on your own journey to figure out what's your best life. Okay. That's it. And love to you, Adam. Mary Taz. I was handicapped when I had to get my hip replaced. And I was not human. I was not human during those months. I didn't even want to be around myself. I could totally understand that, Mary Taz. D, $3 super sticker, fist bump D. Love to you. Shout out to New Hampshire. And I appreciate you, D. I appreciate all your positivity, your consistency. Remember, if you have a 1,000 square foot house and you don't want to take care of it, you don't necessarily have to sell it. Just operate in the 200 square foot you use. That way you don't have to clean or maintain the other 700 square feet as much. Close every door in the rooms you don't use so you don't have to waste heat or air conditioning. Don't take a dookie on your second bathroom. Only use one bathroom. That's one less bathroom you have to clean. Flush the toilet once a month just to keep the seal. Only use the rooms you use. Love to D. And thank you, Mary Toz, for sharing that. Look, all of us can relate that when we are sick, hurting, or in a handicapped position, the frustration is high. The stress is high. And we will lash out on people. I've had plenty of people honestly, and I appreciate them, honestly sharing in my comment section at times that they have a mental handicap or some type of handicap, and because they get mad or frustrated, they lash out on people. And I empathize, I respect, and I understand it. But like I also often tell you guys, even if that is the case, it does not give someone the right to shoot up a school. It does not give someone the right to verbally abuse you. We can't have it, or else we have no society, we have no peace. So there is empathy, but there is boundaries, even with the handicapped. And if you don't believe me, your house is going to be a school shooting. Maybe physically, maybe metaphorically, but it's going to be a crime scene. Bank on it. You might as well get the caution tape out now. And I hope that does not manifest to physical, but even if it manifests to emotional, that's devastating. You know, remember, there's physical and verbal fights. So even if you get into a verbal fight with someone who is mentally disabled, drunk, high, or something else, that's a crime scene, okay? Because your mind, your soul has just been hurt. And you have to put yellow caution tape. Ho. Guys, I mean, I feel like, doing a ho, the preachy shit now. Because that's so damn powerful. Be careful. Thank you for sharing, Mary Toss. Twist, my guy, very positive guy. Sam, from my personal experience, I learned that chronic drug use / alcohol use messes with your brain. Oh, no doubt. On a whole other level. 100 emoji. Meaningless mood swings. Crazy. Yep. Unnecessary emotions. Totally agree. Sober life, stable mind. 100 emoji. I want to share with you again. When I was young, I drank alcohol. I smoked weed. I never did anything stronger than that, thank God. But I remember in my late 20s and my mid 20s stopping cigarettes, stopping weed. Weed just made me paranoid, lazy, and hungry. And then eventually, too, I stopped even drinking occasionally. Because I know some people drink occasionally, but I want to share with you that I remember like 2 years ago or so, I went to visit my mom in New Jersey. And I took her at the Jersey Shore, and we were on the boardwalk and stuff. So there was a hot dog stand. And the hot dog stand was selling like draft beers and a hot dog. My mom loves hot dogs. Very unhealthy, but what am I going to do? So I got my mom a hot dog. And the beer looked so refreshing. And I said, Mom, you want a beer? I get a beer mug, and I said, have a sip with you. So we got a mug of beer and a couple hot dogs. And I sat with her. And I had, at that point, this was like 2 years ago, I hadn't drank in about 5 years. But, I'm not the type of person where I'll be addicted to it. So I'll have a sip with you, Mom. I had a sip of that beer. And I felt all the energy go out of my body. No lie. I physically felt like I just drank toxins. And my mom, she got tired, but we were saying the same thing. And I remember the movie Lucy. A lot of times people ask me, what movies do I like? Here's a movie I want you to put on your watch list. The movie Lucy with the beautiful girl, forgot her name, Johansson. Oh, I masturbated to her a couple times. Someone tell me that actress name from the movie Lucy. Google it, the movie Lucy. This movie is a sci-fi movie, but has a lot of realistic lessons. This girl was basically kidnapped, and she had to smuggle drugs as part of like her mission to be freed. And while she was smuggling these synthetic drugs, like, you know, sometimes when they smuggle drugs, like what they did was they cut her side and they put this bag of drugs in her. Okay? And if you ever know a family member who's staying in a trap house hotel, okay, they're on disability, but they know everything about narcotics, how you get them in and out of the place. It's a fucking shit show, guys, okay? I hate to say that. Let's stay positive. Okay? Let's stay positive. So, in this movie, Lucy, great movie. I recommend you guys and girls watch it. This girl was smuggling drugs, and the drug dealer, like, put it in a plastic bag. He put it, like, in her side. But the bag that they put in her body, it broken, and the synthetic drugs leaked into her bloodstream. And this synthetic drug was basically able to turn her brain capacity to full operation. Okay. Very similar to the movie Limitless with, who's that guy actor? Forgot his name, good actor. But, you know, like the normal human only uses, I don't know what it is, Google it, like 10, 20% of their brain capacity. When you do alcohol or drugs, your brain capacity goes down like 5%. Okay. But this drug made her brain capacity operate at 100%. And what she found was the higher her brain was operating, the more aware she was of everything. But she was on a plane, and when she had a drink of wine or champagne, I can't remember, when she had a drink of alcohol, her entire body like almost started to disintegrate, because it was the total opposite of enhancing her brain capacity. It was destroying it. And that's what drugs, alcohol, these things do. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson, good job, D. So, she looked good back in the day. She got a tattoo on the side that says, "Lucky you." Like, if you see that tattoo, you in the cooch. So, and guys, a lot of you guys, this one troll, okay, who's from Long Island, I think he's an electrical car toll nut job. He goes to Mexico to smoke weed and have sex with prostitutes. And he's proud of himself. Total disgrace. There's some guys out there, and maybe girls, they're addicted to sex. That's a drug. That's why I tell you guys, masturbate and be under self-control. Why? Because if you got all these hormones operating, that's the same thing a drug is, basically. You're handicapped. Now, this guy's double whammy, because he's mentally handicapped, he's told nut job, and he's doing all this other crazy shit. Real psychopath, guys. But I'm not impressed, because I've seen a lot. Okay. So, they ain't gonna run my life, guys. I'll tell you right now. I'm not gonna destroy my life for them, but we're not going down that route. You don't run this show. Okay. So, let's take hydration break, go back and live comments. D, thank you again for that gracious tip. Thank you again, Keith. And welcome, Stacy. Thank you, everyone. D, Mary Toss. Had hip replacement also. Okay, 2 people had that. Broken foot is a lot worse. Really? Sam, thanks for your suggestion. Well, love to you, D, and thank you for sharing. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That is tough. Keith, shout out to Twister. He's a very positive guy. Keith, shout out to you. You're a very hard-working, positive guy, and I want everything good to happen for you. I want you to mitigate risks, securing your job transfer, or you're going to figure something out. But keep on your mission. Visit Florida. Keep your flexibility. You say, Sam, it's the middle of the summer. How is Florida? Still great. It's been raining for the past hour. This storm's going to blow through tonight. It's going to be great again. So if I have my choice, I do have my choice. Would I rather be in the Northeast or in Florida in the summer? Florida in the summer. So unless there's a major hurricane, just like if I was in California, unless there's a major wildfire, I'm not leaving. Now, if I change my mind, I change my mind. But I want to smash every person who ever told you Florida sucks in the summer. Look at their life. Are they riding around with a handicap sticker? Smoking weed, fucking prostitutes? Yeah, all right. I'll stay in Florida, B. Okay? Take it easy. Okay. Good job. Maritas? Yes, frustration and pain can do strange things to your mind. You go into another dimension. That's true. That's why you see, like, I remember I was dating this girl. I got into a love triangle. Total shit show. Never date someone who is already in or getting out of a relationship. It's a shit show. But I made the mistake. So I get in the middle of this shit show, relationship. She's just like breaking up with this guy. I'm getting in the seat, which, that was fun initially. But I remember when she was going through this breakup, she had told me like she turned into this different person because she was so emotionally hurt that she became mentally handicapped. And she said she basically lost her mind. And eventually, I was the one who became emotionally hurt over her, and I became mentally handicapped. I went to another dimension. And I had to remind myself, Sam, separate, create distance from the toxicity. You cannot argue with a handicapped person and win. You're trying to convince someone that you're better for them than they can figure out for themselves. You're arguing with a handicapped person. You're the handicapped person. Sometimes you got to step away from yourself. I got to get my shit together. Okay. And if you can't figure it out, you're going to figure it out in a bad way. Okay. And if you haven't seen a handicapped person until they got a restraining order against them. Because the restraining order proves that you were emotionally handicapped. If you have a restraining order on you, at one time you were emotionally handicapped because you couldn't take no for an answer. Okay. Let's try it. So, it is what it is, guys. Mary Taz, yes, frustration. Thank you again for sharing that. Sam, I am good to see you. Good to see your IP address. Shout out to California. I know you love California. I know you love it very much. Suitcase Twister. D. Scarlett Johansson. Got a good fatty. D. Sounds like Adderall. Yeah, I've heard of Adderall. I don't know too many people that have experience with that, so I couldn't speak on too much, but I've heard of that. That's a big thing out there now. Twister. God bless you, Keith. I agree. And Suitcase, I agree. And Mary Taz, totally agree. I totally relate. May God guide and bless us all. I agree with that, including the handicap, through the good and bad times. Totally agree. Good job, Twister. Timothy, peace emoji. May peace be with you. You ever go to church? There's going to be some handicapped people in church. I've went to church because I'm handicapped. I needed a support system. When you need a support system, you're basically saying you're handicapped. I went to church to try to get a new group of friends and support system to guide my life, to help me in my time of need. There's nothing wrong with that. And then once you go through rehabilitation, then you walk out on your own. Now, some people didn't do that. I can't judge them, but don't judge me. Like Chris Brown said, please don't judge me, because then I'm going to judge you, and it can get ugly. Okay. So, that's life. Suitcase. Sam, my channel is growing. Well, you showing up? Getting my thumbnail game tight. You progressively get better. That's what happened to me. I was the same way. Want to be able to go live someday. If you keep showing up, you'll figure it out. Now, again, will you ever make money off it? Will it ever be something to speak of? I don't know. But I'll tell you this. If you show up, you got better odds. But I always tell you this, same thing I practice. Keep a main job and let YouTube be your side job. Because that's the position it must play. And now there's some exceptions. But if you do that, then you can at least be at peace. Because if you're strung out financially, depending on YouTube, you're definitely gonna be mentally handicapped, because you gotta be mentally strong to be a YouTuber. Because the more you grow, the more you're gonna analyze yourself, number one, and then the more too, you got more people analyzing you. And you have to be in a very centered, peaceful, boundary place. Again, I block more people than most. I'm not saying you should operate like me, and that took me time to even get there. But your YouTube channel is gonna change, and then when you change, people are gonna say, well, you can't change. Why? Who the fuck you tell me I can't change? Who, you my father? You tell me I can't move too? Wait, who are you? Get the fuck out of here, man. You're handicapped. So that's what people start doing. They start thinking they're going to tell you how to run your shit. Okay. And, you got to decide, like, if you count on them for the bag, you're basically living in a shared apartment, okay? They're doing drugs, you're drinking, and you can't go anywhere because it's codependency. Okay. So codependency is a motherfucker, okay? And if you don't believe me, and I'm not talking you, Suitcase, now I'm just talking in general terms. If you don't believe me that codependency is a bitch, you've never met someone with codependency. It's a total shit show. And it doesn't have to be just financially, it could be emotionally. I've been emotionally. So, look, guys and girls, there's no judgment on anyone. This is not about pride and looking down on anyone. This is about self-care and boundaries. Okay. And again, I want to reiterate, don't take the message out of context tonight. There's physical fights, verbal fights, and emotional fights. And anyone in an altered state or certified by the government or a doctor that's handicapped is really, really even more dangerous. Suitcase, all phases we go through in this life should lead to being totally disciplined and self-reliant. Well, as best we can. I still believe in the grace of God that we have to get a little lucky. And I still believe that we need the help of others along the way, whether it's a job recommendation, whether it's people supporting us online, whatever. But I believe in when you are doing your part, good things happen. And people want to help. Like me, when I've seen people that did a good job as a security officer, I said, I would love to see that person move up. I would love to try to help them. So it's like, when you're doing your part, in my experience in life, people want to see you succeed. If what you're doing is edifying, meaning it's building you up and building others up around you, there's definitely going to always be trolls. And you're still going to fail. But people are going to need to and want to help you. But you don't want to have to depend on them per se. But I want to balance the self-reliancy with the fact that, we're all still we need help. And I believe you get it too. Again, I'm just sharing with it. Good job. Sam, I am. What do you think of the stock market going all-time high? Well, I think we're in a very inflated time, and I think the stock market reflects that. Inflation has very little to do with the $1,200 and $2,000 stimulus checks. Inflation has everything to do with zero interest rates, which prop up the stock market, which prop up the housing market, which prop up lending. That, and I will say that the extended unemployment benefits are part of the issue at this point, but I think they're a smaller part than the interest rates. And I think in September, the extended unemployment benefits will end. They've already ended in some states. And I think that as we get to the end of the year and interest rates raise, that some of the inflation will come out, but I don't think all of the inflation will come out. I think some prices will level out or go down. Some already have. But the biggest metric of the stock market has nothing to do with the price to earning ratios of a company per se. The biggest metric is the interest rates. Why? Because when I'm talking about big money here, guys, not people dumping their stimulus check into Bitcoin. When you're dealing with hedge firms, when you're dealing with pension managers, if the bond rate, if the interest rates are low, if the bond rate is low, which is an investment vessel to put a certain amount of assets in to get almost like a fixed return, if that's low, then the hedge firms, the pension managers have to dump their money into the market because they have to have a certain return on their investment. So when the Federal Reserve lowers the interest rate to zero, the big money has to have a percentage of it in the index, in the market. Because without that, then inflation eats up all this money they're responsible for. So, but the Federal Reserve and the government, because there's a board of directors from the Senate that monitors the Federal Reserve, when they push the interest rates low, they're trying to inflate the economy. And the reason they're doing that is because they're saying, in order to keep this thing going, we need us to go faster. Now, when we go too fast and we're getting close to inflating beyond control, then they'll higher the interest rates like they did in the 1970s. This already happened once. So in the 1970s, we were growing too much. They highered the interest rates. I don't know what the interest rates were then, 15, 20% almost. And you had to slow down. What we're looking for is balance. We don't want a stagnant economy where there's no risk-taking, where there's no lending, where there's no inflation. But we don't want something where, the unique thing now was the coronavirus. It wasn't just the interest rates. It was the global supply chain. We lost a trade war. Like if you thought it was wise to do a trade war, you found out it wasn't. It's wiser to be strategic. And if you have a trade war, don't tweet about it. Okay? Because if you think that pandering to your base about a trade war is wise, you just found out it wasn't. Okay? The wise thing to do, okay, is to be a diplomat in public and a bull behind the scenes. Okay? Not a bull to the public, okay, and then basically get screwed. Okay? Because he hurt the country, he hurt the people who followed him, and he left the same way he came in. Toxic behavior. Donald Trump is the most toxic person you ever met in your life. And if you don't believe me, look at the string of relationships, look at the string of businesses, and look where he's always been. He's a toxic person. Okay? And he came in a shitstorm, and he left in a shitstorm. And he got a couple people excited waving a flag, and he's the guy who dodged the draft. So I don't know how he did that. He mocked John McCain for serving the country. He dodged the draft. He was a better patriot. Total shit show. But I understand life. So this is why we're at where we're at. Suitcase. Yes, indeed. The grace of God is essential. Suitcase, you get it. You keep doing your thing. You show up. You self-care. And we take life one day at a time. Love and respect to you. Keith, that's my guy. Appreciate your kind words. I believe in you. Love to you. I believe in you, Keith. You've worked your whole life. You've done the best you could. Now it's time, in a responsible way, what you're doing is take care of you. Okay? In a responsible, healthy way. Why? Because if you ain't going to get to Florida by the time you're 62, maybe you want to wait till 63, but I want to keep telling you, average life expectancy is 80. Why? Hey, guys, I don't know about you, but grandma living to 100 years old in a nursing home ain't grandma surfing, okay? So if you make it past 80, great, but you ain't going to be doing much. You're going to be taking naps, okay? And if you're going to take a nap, you might as well be in Indiana, okay? So I want you to sweat, okay? I want you to see the beautiful butt cheeks of the most exotic, wealthy, snobby women you ever met in your fucking life, okay? I want you to say goodbye to the days of a new gas station coming to town as a big thrill. I want you to get ready for the greatest experience in your life. Tropical paradise with first world infrastructure. What am I talking about? South Florida. God bless you. Sam, it is free to park a car at a truck stop? Question mark. Can cars park in all truck stops? Cars can park in truck stops. There's usually a designated area for that car or regular cars. And some rest areas or truck stops have hour limit, like no more than 2 hours, no more than 3. So every truck stop is individual. But the general consensus is there's a separate area for regular cars versus 18-wheelers. And many of them have hour restrictions. And that will go by the individual basis. Hopefully that information helped you. All right, guys and girls. Hopefully my videos help you in some way. If they do, click the thumbs up. I want to thank my newest member, Stacy. Gratitude and welcome. I want to thank Dee for her super chat. I want to thank Keith for his super chat. I want to thank all my existing members. I want to thank Mary Taz for her super chat. And again, I can only hope that my videos help you in some way. And if they don't, I'm not here to manipulate you. I understand if you have to leave me. Okay, so all I can pray is that God's grace be with you. And I do say sometimes I question that, but I want to try to keep the faith and stay positive. Okay, but I also want to stand up for myself and not be bullied. At the same time, I don't want to get in a fight with a handicapped person. I want to balance my life. I want to push forward and do the best I can. Could anything happen tomorrow where everything could collapse? Of course. Guys, I'm not above making a big mistake. None of us are. None of us are a moment away from complete catastrophe. All I'm trying to do is live my best life, not perfect life. All I'm trying to do is mitigate risk, maximize reward, which is done through wise decision making and boundaries. So, again, if it helps you, great. And if it doesn't, I understand. Mary Toss, thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Take a shower. It's great to take a shower before you go to bed. Why? You don't bring dirt on your sheets. When you brush your teeth and you brush your tongue, you're not going to be hungry at night. Floss your teeth. Get into clean clothes, loose fitting. Put a little bit of essential oil or cologne right in your nostril. And blow a fan. Fuck the AC. Blow a fan right up your ass. And what I can tell you is you're going to sleep like a baby. Okay. And if you ain't going to sleep like a baby, you probably took a nap. Naps destroy sleep cycles. Or you got someone with a disability coming to visit you tonight, and they're going to keep you up all night. Okay, they're handicapped. Or they're doing drugs, might as well be handicapped. Okay, and now you live in this stressful, toxic situation. And now you got to get yourself out of it. And if you ever catch yourself arguing with someone who is totally irrational, I understand the urge, but it's like arguing with a wall. You ain't going to do nothing. It ain't going to change. So you got to move on with your life. Very hard to do. I've been there very hard. I know it's not easy. So best of luck to us all. And God bless. Thank you.